Oh yeah, I'm listening. In one ear and out the other. Unless I know you. Now we're having a conversation. So if I know you, and we haven't had a conversation in a while, I understand. Life keeps us busy. However, I am life with you now, wondering if maybe that was habits built by structure that when we were children we didn't understand because of the structure and how long it takes to modify those habits into a permanence with you. So, well, today, brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, children of all ages, that's what the fun part is all about. Remembering family can go back to zero. Separate at home from work outside. And remember what we do that for is not our pride if there's no one left at home to talk about that with now. For some of us, we need you. If you're not perfect, you're the hardest one to talk to. If you are perfect, we need you most of all. However, that doesn't mean that we don't need you. We do, y'all. So when I'm clearing my throat for the next part, it's because in my silence, I was able to separate from a system built by you, us, in a way that doesn't allow me to look crazy, to be rational with a thought, to take from our wisdom the pain, to be logical with what it bought, our life, here today, to tell you I love you in my own special way, with my silence. Occasionally, if you find yourself silent with me, that's okay too. Sometimes I just like that, I do. So, if you're thinking too much about it, you can stop. Today is the day we let go of everything that hurt us. No doubt. That's the best part. So when I'm done with the programming, the secret of my art is in meditation, where I come home with myself, where my heart is always. My church is my body. I am the only one to make believe, or to unmake it. So if you follow your mind back to zero, where we were born, you might feel yourself being freed up from residual programming. Not to exclude it from your persona. If that's difficult, that's because you need to practice. If you're practicing, that's good. That's how you develop the skill. Meditation is real good when you can separate from everything and go back to zero. Being still, knowing I am. That's what life is all about. That you are being. You have family, which is worth seeing, which is worth talking to, not to hide from while you get lost in the world and its programming now. So, I'm giving you the purple pill. It's my special design. For royalty. It's not hard to find. Look around. You are. If you're of this bloodline, humanity, then that's what I'm talking about. That's our bloodline. They wanted to divide and conquer. Or they. Why do we not breed outside of our species? Coincidentally, why do we breed at all? Alright, that's too much. 0. Infinite possibilities. That's also the space where you are able to completely disconnect from motion, forward, back, front, top, bottom, doesn't matter. What you think of what you see won't matter. You won't be offended. You don't mind it. What you see is presented to you in a way that is luxuriously rich with wisdom, like light packets, instant downloads for that royalty I told you about. That's the purple pill, to hold reality and not be affected by the motion, vertigo, inertia, gravity, inversely density. They are relative. That is also something you will break away from when you go back to 0. When you go back to 0, you won't need any of that. Why, you would one of these days, Alice, right to the... Oh, right. We already did that, right? So, I'm gonna do that again. Also, SpaceX, they are messing with you, friends. P.S. NASA already figured it out. Don't do it again. They're just watching to see what you do. Then when you do what you're supposed to do, / not supposed to do, you'll realize that Willy Wonka's chocolate factory was only going to be available for those who got a gold ticket. So, if you got it, you should be aware of the whole process. If you're going to do it again, you got to know all that information is for the man. You don't get away from that. That's why we're more human than the human. We get all the colors. We see your spectrums. We see what bothers you. We see why. That's why we have a place to compartmentalize. As you develop the skills to take those chests of quote-unquote nothingness to make it exactly what I just said. We are welcome. That is a tool. Just because you use it doesn't mean I used it the same way. So how I use it is up to me. If I tell you this, it didn't work for you, that's okay. That's because you're doing it. That's just how it is today. We develop our own methods to healing the body, mind, with our mind, with loving thoughts, colors, beautiful colors too. Feel every thought there with you. And in every zone, it brings a mood to the spectrum. And what we talk about is all of it. The clear, to be clear, the dark, the ultimate dark, anti-neg space, all right? The entities that conceptualize these things, our compartmentalization of those conceptions for them, for themselves, as themselves, by themselves, with those conceptions, separate from our creation, to take their information, not create it the way they did, but to create it the way you want to now, which is the way I do as well. Now that's giving everybody our tools equally. Again, that's your loot. How you process you is for you. You do not take these tools to loot someone else. That is invasive. That is against my rules. So, these are my tools. I use them equally. That's how you know. It's like Minecraft. You had to make your own chest and you had to lock it because people come in all the time looking through your world going, oh, what you got in there? What you got in there? Oh, I can just take this out? You didn't lock it? Oh, okay. Think of it that way. But don't think about that too much, because then it breaks away from what I was telling you, which is the catch-22, which is fighter pilot World War II term for, I won't get it either way. So in that moment, you do your best to come back to zero. And that's the last part of the tool. None of the things I just said will affect you. If it did, then I would be a fool, just like the others I disconnected us from. They have their own tool, their own loot, their own chest. It is their mind to develop the methods, as I do today. You are free and may do this as well. Beyond that, the purple pill is the best pill, because you get to sit with that information and be realistic with it here now, which means don't run aloof in your mind. This is not a fairy tale. This is real life. So what is real will remain. What you do inside your body to do what we do outside anyway, which is real also in that way as well, still is guided by logic, which is how I rationalize with the ability to do what I just did, building my world safe, perfectly. Protected in its original fashion, as I personally created. Now, I give you the same ability to understand that you may also, as a template, copy my idea to create your own loot, to stick your tools in your chest. Going through Minecraft is the best because it's a simple way to describe our world now. I enjoy it. So, when you need to heal from things, when you compartmentalize things, they're always going to be on a shelf somewhere. You will access this when you want to, when you don't. If you are trying to get rid of it completely, that won't work either. There is acceptance that needs to be had. If you haven't done that part yet, that's going to be the next step for you to unlock another seal to the process. Another puzzle will be solved when you complete the acceptance process of all of your actions, our actions, its actions, these actions, above and beyond reason. Go as far as you may. Acceptance just means observation today, like a scientist, observing for the very first time. Yeah, so we have to go back to our childhood, because that world habitually became a bit of a mess. However, I'm that world talking to you now, free from my chest with my tools and my loot. Let me show you. It's love, because it's free. I'm not charging for this. It doesn't matter if they did. That's how it happened now. It's free. It's supposed to be that way with you and me. So if you want to get away from that world where they don't charge you for intellectual property, like I'm not going to do right now, then you have to be with that world also, explain it rationally, logically, help them understand you. Don't go to war with them because they didn't have the words to understand that now. Or the language wasn't something they accept. A bit unfamiliar, though they know it. Again, that's not love. If you're gonna love all things, love all things. I love all languages because it belongs to us. Humans, not divided. United, we stand. One nation. It is your God. You are indivisible. With this liberty, it is ours. Justice just is for us. One with each other. To all, for us. By us, with us. And to the ever. If there is such a thing. That we'll discover together. However, there would be no point to that if we don't get along. There's no point to anything we do if we don't love us the way I'm loving me now. I love me. I'm capable of loving the worst. Not because I am the worst, but because I was taught by a great teacher. Do not judge, or you'll become the worst of us now. That's all. So, programming comes back and says 0 is good for y'all. You can create yourself free from that programming to reprogram yourself. Create your own tools, create your own chess, say it with your chest. Be your best you. That's all you could do today. That's family, loving each other, accepting each other's differences because we are. Again, the idea is what's working. It's not a physical thing. It's my mind. It's unlocking pathways to conceptions that we're proving every day exist in the air. If that is more valuable than the life, then we didn't connect the dots. The air is life, and for us, it has a pattern to keep it that way. If we as a species want to keep it that way, we appreciate it at every level, not just the species itself, but the family and the genius, the phylum, the fungus, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all life, breathing that same beautiful space in a symbiotic way that blows our minds in the most beautiful ways, because we share each other's space. When it says not to eat of the tree, what it meant was not to eat of the world. If you are the world right here, you are that tree. If you ate of the flesh, means eating of this world means once upon a time you were a breatharian. You didn't need to eat food. You were perfect. That's what we're getting back to. That's what I'm saying. You may do that. You have to meditate, stop eating, and know that it's possible. It is. It is. It doesn't hurt. You only told yourself it hurts because you were used to it. That's what I mean by that today. Don't let 35, 36 years of habit take your gift. It won't. You just need to know. You control the habits with your choice. Also, just because someone else chose it doesn't mean them choosing it and failing would limit you when you choose it to succeed. Sometimes that happens. I will leave that with me. I just made that voice. Crafting. All right. That's enough for today. That and back to the family. That's what it's all about. I won't do any of this without my family. So loving me is me loving myself. I need my family to love me also. I need them to love themselves first. If they have a problem with me, I wouldn't know. I don't need to know. That's how it works. If they have a problem with themselves, that's the problem, not letting it go. That's acceptance. If you haven't accepted yourself again, that's getting in the way of your filtering process. If you are doing that now, it takes time. Sometimes lots of time, depending on how old. The older you are, the longer it takes. You know, so kind of like a tree when it grows up. It takes longer to fall over than it does when a small tree falls over. Or did it take the same amount of time? I don't know. Small tree there seems to me like had less distance to travel, so be quicker. But relative to that, I mean, it's kind of the same. When you think about it in terms of scale, it would look like the same amount of time, or different amount of time was actually the same amount of time, just at a different scale. That's a good way to see time. Perfect. All right, now that's the cherry on top. Okay, another 20-minute video down the drain. Hopefully, we won't have to do these dishes anymore. At least we're cleaning it up. Those are my words today. I love you, fam. That's all of you. Humanity, life, everything. Now, have a beautiful day.